In the mid-1980s, the Cold War still shaped global power, and France was determined to maintain its status as a nuclear force. At the center of this ambition was a remote atoll in the South Pacific, Mororo, where France conducted nuclear weapons tests. These tests drew fierce international criticism, especially from environmental groups. Among them, Greenpeace emerged as the most vocal and disruptive opponent, sending ships to physically block French nuclear testing zones. What followed was one of the most controversial intelligence operations in modern European history, Operation Satanic. By 1985, Greenpeace had become a serious problem for the French government. Its flagship vessel, the Rainbow Warrior, was preparing to sail to Mororo to lead a protest fleet against France's upcoming nuclear tests. The ship was not just symbolic, it was operationally effective. Its presence could delay or even halt tests, embarrass France on the world stage, and strengthen the global anti-nuclear movement. French intelligence concluded that diplomatic pressure and legal threats were no longer enough. Responsibility fell to the DGSE, France's external intelligence service. A covert operation was authorized at the highest levels of government. The objective was simple but dangerous: neutralize the Rainbow Warrior before it could interfere with the nuclear program. The operation was codenamed Satanic, a name that reflected both its secrecy and its ruthless intent. DGSE planners designed the mission to look like an accident. The ship was docked in Auckland, New Zealand, preparing for its journey. New Zealand was a friendly nation, officially at peace with France, making the operation exceptionally risky. Discovery would mean not just scandal, but a diplomatic crisis. Still, the mission moved forward. The DGSE deployed multiple teams under deep cover. Some agents posed as tourists, others as environmental supporters. A married couple using the names Aling and Sophie Turinge entered New Zealand with forged Swiss passports. Their role was logistical, renting vehicles, scouting locations, and providing cover. Another team arrived separately to carry out the sabotage itself. On the night of July 10, 1985, the operation unfolded. 2 combat divers attached limpet mines to the hull of the Rainbow Warrior. The first explosion was meant to disable the ship, forcing its crew to abandon it. The second explosion was designed to sink it completely, ensuring it could not be repaired in time for the protest mission. The plan assumed the ship would be empty, or nearly so. That assumption proved fatal. When the first blast went off, crew members rushed to evacuate. Fernando Pereira, a Portuguese photographer working for Greenpeace, went back into the ship to retrieve his equipment. Moments later, the second explosion detonated. The blast flooded the engine room, trapping Pereira inside. He drowned as the ship sank at its berth. The Rainbow Warrior settled at the bottom of Auckland Harbor. Within hours, it was clear this was no accident. The explosions were too precise, too powerful. New Zealand authorities launched a full investigation, treating the sinking as an act of terrorism. What followed was a disaster for French intelligence. The Turinge couple drew suspicion due to inconsistencies in their travel story. New Zealand police arrested them within days. Under interrogation, their false identities unraveled. Soon, evidence pointed directly to the DGSE. International outrage exploded. A peaceful environmental organization had been attacked in a friendly country, and a civilian had been killed. France initially denied involvement, but the evidence became overwhelming. Under intense pressure, the French government admitted responsibility. The defense minister resigned. Senior intelligence officials were dismissed. President Francois Mitterrand faced global condemnation. For New Zealand, the incident was a violation of sovereignty. For Greenpeace, Pereira became a martyr, and the organization gained unprecedented global support. Ironically, the operation intended to silence protest amplified it instead. France attempted damage control. The convicted agents were sentenced in New Zealand, but later transferred to French custody under an international agreement. They served minimal time under comfortable conditions, further inflaming criticism. France eventually paid compensation to Greenpeace and to Pereira's family. Operation Satanic exposed the dark edge of state power in peacetime. It showed how far a democratic government was willing to go to protect strategic interests, even at the cost of civilian life and international law. The operation failed in nearly every meaningful sense. The nuclear tests continued for a time, but France's moral authority was severely damaged, and global opposition to nuclear testing intensified. Decades later, the sinking of the Rainbow Warrior remains a defining example of intelligence overreach. It is remembered not as a clever covert success, but as a cautionary tale, one where secrecy, arrogance, and miscalculation collided with reality. Operation Satanic did not just sink a ship. It exposed the limits of covert power in an increasingly transparent world, where even the most secret operations can surface, with consequences that echo for generations.